Welcome to the bold analysis. This information, this report that is coming on this Tuesday night is a very bad news to contractors and the civil servants in this country. William Ruto flew to China for the 3 days tour. And according to the dispatch from State House, Ruto was going to China to look for more loans so that he would come and complete some projects. And of course, one of the giant projects that has largely been mentioned is that of SGR. And I've seen another one of 26 billion deal that is being reported. But the communication team, either out of incompetence or lack of substance, opted to brag, or rather just to tell the country about how William Ruto was driven from airport with a very expensive, the most expensive car in China. And there was no substance in terms of what William Ruto is doing. Like today, but today again, there was a report about 26 billion deal that Ruto had bagged. But I can tell you that before Ruto went there, some of these deals do not come. They did not come because the President Ruto was there. He just went for the official signing. But some of these things had been agreed earlier, and there were things that even the President was expecting. But there is always an attempt by communication team to project as if Ruto is behind it. Look at this report. I've just seen it from a man I really trust in this. Wahome Tuku is saying, our government is broke and has probably reached its end. You elected folks who can't run a thing, and the price to pay is here. If you are already having any running contracts with it, the contract will be terminated for whatever excuses, but the prime reason the government can't pay. This is a directive. There is a directive to recall all contracts. It's the end. And I want to show you that that's the report about how contracts have been recalled. And there are also reports that Moses Kuria is going to see ghosts in that new ministry, because that is the ministry that is largely in charge of civil performance of civil servants, and civil servants might also be hit by the brokenness of government, because hapa mbele there could be salary delays. The report about government recalling some of the contracts that have been awarded is something that I don't think is a shocker to many that have been following the politics of this country. Recently, KTN did a story about broke millionaires and billionaires. These were Kenyans that got contracts with government, but contracts running in the tune of billions, but they were never to be paid under the pending bills. And government have been dilly-dallying and erecting bottlenecks in especially in these efforts to settle some of these pending bills. And now pending bills, if you talk to contractors, you'll be told, you will realize that they're normally paid on who you know. If you are, if you're a shareholder and you work with the government, you're likely to get, nowadays we don't just see a contract somewhere and just apply, attend and apply. It's not so. So that recall is a signal on what could exactly be happening. And one of the reasons why things have been so tough is the fact that government has not been spending. Now, this have two effects. When government is not spending, pending bills is money going to circulation, because when you issue contracts and pay those contracts, those people that are working there, it actually blossoms the labor market. it actually opens up the labor market, because especially in the construction industry, when you pay this contractor in building that school, and that contractor gets that money, he will still take another contract and even build another one, and you realize that there is mobility of labor. And now, mobility of labor in the sense that you cannot lack. If you are working in a site in Kitengela and your contractor has actually been paid by the county government in Homa Bay, then when that Kitengela contract is done, he will still use that money and go and do the one in Homa Bay. And you realize that the pool of labor that we have is getting somewhere. And of course, directly, that money gets into the circulation or directly in people's pocket. And that's why we realize, and that is why Rigathi was even issuing a notice that you will feel government policies after 6 months, because they know very well that there is going to be a problem. So it also, number one, drip in the labor demand, because if there is no activity going on, a number of things are stuck. Then there is less money circulation, and investment is a very good investment activates even saving. You know, when people invest, they will be able to go for loans and, you know, find a way we can go for loans and work because we know we've been paid. But when there is an environment of uncertainty, there are really some problems. I think for even the last 1 week has not been easy for Kenyans. It started last Friday with the inhuman demolitions in Mavoko, and the Saturday and the following day, the fuel prices hiked by some 5 shilling. An attempt by Moses Kuria to introduce some levy on the Huduma Center backfired, and I've seen people, you know, entertaining some twists and turns around it. If Moses Kuria did not mean to increase some levy, then he did not even have to make it. In the way he was saying that some of those services are already being paid for. If there is no difference between the services payment that are being made and the new payment he was talking about, then why was he even making that statement? You know, sometimes you can't just play Kenyans all the time. You wanted to introduce a levy, but you realized that there was a backlash. So you had to create some twist. And now as we speak, PS Housing has announced increase in rent increase in all government houses. This is a move, and of course it's above, they're saying it has never been revised since 2001. So let's assume that this increase is effected. It is also going to affect the private sector, because when they realize, well, when you pay serikali 20,000, now there is an increase of 10%, that means they will also have to increase. You know, that's normally our bad behavior. Things are bad. And this report, according to me, I can look at it, this is what I'm seeing. Ruto's hopes of getting the China loans is not very clear and is not very promising. Because why would you think such a report to suspend this contract and like things are a bit paralyzed would come at a time the president is looking for loans in China? We are looking for loans to complete these projects. But before even the president jets back, already some memos circulated asking the treasury asking different sectors, government ministries to suspend or rather recall some of these contracts. So it's something that is yet to be seen. Even though the report, an early report I had received, I think from some quarters, is that some projects that maybe were 70% and above will be completed, but those that are below 50 will either stop or reviewed if they are going to be done to its logical conclusion. Secondly, we have always explained our economic recovery template as we will recover fully the time we will stop borrowing or borrow less and use local revenue for development. And because of that, the reason why you see flurry of taxes imposed on Kenyans is because of achieving that equilibrium. Probably that we have a balance on, maybe we're doing 50-50, maybe, but a situation where we can collect money locally, reduce our debts, and fund our projects with our revenue here. So if we are even stopping contracts, we are recalling contracts, then there is a possibility that despite of the taxation, the new taxation regime we're introducing, our projection on revenue collection is below expectation. That is a possibility because people can withdraw, or sometimes even consumption can go down. So it's a signal that things are not right. Number 3, something is killing Kenya Kwanza, and this is political events disguised as development. They're killing us. I saw today a photo of Governor Sakaja with the members of his cabinet in Paris today. I don't know what they're doing on their benchmarking. And recently we complained here about the delegations going out, how many people going out. I've been seeing a lot of travels, just even locally. William Rigathi Gachagua has become an advance officer ahead of Mashujaa Day, and I think he's spending more time in Kericho preparing for that Mashujaa Day to be on Friday. I don't know what he's doing there. And he seems to be doing work that should be done by the chiefs, while he's spending a lot of time doing a lot of, things that do not even add value. So there is a problem that we're having, and that is a total paralysis, that if we have started that, then I think we are going to get to the new phase of recalling. And there is a lot of anger, by the way. The teachers that complained that they did not want to be transferred from Garissa were actually sacked unceremoniously. So tough times ahead. Thank you.